Hello, welcome to the first ever A-level version of live.withcode.uk. So this video is designed for particularly Year 12 students, but some Year 13s if you're interested too, who are studying A-level computer science. Designed for my students at Fulford, but anyone's welcome to take part and join in with the competitions too. So each week there'll be between 10 and 20 minutes of live coding. So that means you'll see me either debugging code that students have sent in, or if nobody sends anything in, or if everything that's sent through is perfect, doesn't need debugging, then I'll just choose a project at random and we'll go through from start to finish, creating some projects with graphical user interfaces in Windows Forms in C#. So the idea is each week you choose a random challenge from the OCR project book. It'll choose a random challenge, show a random GIF, and then give you some details of it. If you don't like the challenge, you don't want to do it, you can choose any of the 80 that are on there. And then once you've chosen one, I'd like you to code it in Visual Studio, create a new project. I don't mind if it's .NET Core or .NET Framework, but it will have to be WinForms, because we're supposed to be practicing using a graphical user interface to build up skills for the project. And then we're going to submit your code once you've done it onto GitHub. So you will need a free GitHub account. For your project, you'll end up with a private repository that no one can access apart from you and me, or you and your teacher if you're in a different school. But for this, it's going to be a normal, free, public GitHub repository. You're also going to need a free account on live.withcode.uk. So just click on guest that comes up in the top corner and create student account. I won't, I'm only going to use your user details to contact winners of competitions. So that's why it asks for a name and a username, so I can give prizes where they're due. So you choose a random project. I'm going to go for the Palindromes one. So well done, Jules, for sending in your code for the Palindromes project. I'm not going to show Jules' code because I still want him to be able to submit that to GitHub and to be able to win a competition for next week. But I want to show you how to submit it onto GitHub and how to submit it so you can win prizes next week. So this is my version of the Palindrome project. The idea of a palindrome is it's a string that is symmetrical. So race car, the first letter is the same as the last letter, and A there is the same as the A there. But if you put other letters in, it's no longer symmetrical, so it's no longer a palindrome. So you create your project. As soon as you've made your project, you want to add your code to source control. So down at the bottom in Visual Studio, it should be set up to be able to sync to GitHub automatically. Microsoft acquired GitHub fairly recently. I'm going to be using Visual Studio 2019, but any fairly recent version of Visual Studio does have a plugin for GitHub, so it works really nicely. You want to publish to GitHub. So you've got two really useful panels here. The Solution Explorer is where you see your code. The Team Explorer is where you can publish to GitHub for the source control. You want to make sure it's published to GitHub. You'll need to sign in with your GitHub account, choose what your repository is. Don't tick private repository unless it's your A-level project. Keep it public so other people can access it and you can win the prize, and publish it. When you've created your GitHub repository and you've put it all together, you'll see two zeros down here, and I want to talk you through what those numbers mean. So Year 13s use this a huge amount throughout their project. The idea is that any small change that you make, so let's say read text from text box to check if it's a palindrome. When you make a change and you save your code, you see the number on the right changes up. So this now means there's one file in your project that has changed. That means that your GitHub repository is out of sync at the moment. Why do we do this? Well, if you're working in a team, it means other team programmers can share work. You can work on the same project at the same time. But for you, when you're doing your project, if you're working at school and at home, you want to be able to access the latest version of your code in both places. It always wants to be up to date. I never want you to arrive to a lesson, if we ever have face-to-face lessons again, I'm sure we will, where you say, oh, I can't access my code, it's stuck at home. We use GitHub to sync it so you've got all the different versions and you can stay up to date. So you click on this version, this number here, describe what change you've made. So, made comments, more descriptive. Do please try and comment your code as you go on. And then you want to commit your code. This means that it is now committed to your local repository. It's not on GitHub yet. It's only stored in your Git repository on your the computer that you're sat in front of at the moment. So this means there's no changes that are uncommitted to this computer that I'm sat in front of, but there is one change that is ready to be pushed to GitHub. So you click on this one and you go pull to make sure there's no changes that anyone else is working. There shouldn't be. And then push. This means you're pushing your local changes from your computer to GitHub, so that if you go to a different computer or if you access it in a different building, or crucially, if you submit your code to live.withcode.uk/A-level for prizes, then I can see that version of the code. Okay, so once you have 0.0 down here, you can go onto GitHub. You should see your repository. Let's have a look. Hopefully I've made one called Palindromes. Here we go. And you'll see your code in here. So that means please be careful. Don't put any personal information in the comments of your code. If you're doing, I think there's a challenge there that checks credit card numbers. Do not use your parents' credit card number and put it in the code. That would be a bad idea. So copy this link here. And then to win your prize, you just need to press the plus next to the challenge that you've chosen. I'm not signed in at the moment, but when you are, it will just ask you for a link to either a YouTube video, so you can record yourself like I'm doing now, or I'm expecting most people to not do that and just submit a link to GitHub instead. I'll get a notification. You can get featured on live.withcode.uk next week, but more importantly, you can win the first ever pair of branded live.withcode.uk Bluetooth headphones. I'll get those sent out to you, one person each week. The idea of these challenges, it's a little bit of fun, but also it's an opportunity for you to make mistakes, to learn from mistakes, to get a bit of tuition, to try out different projects, and to make some progress improving your confidence with C# code. So I hope this is useful. Do get in touch if you have any questions or suggestions. Choose a project, choose something random, choose something you're interested in, create an account on GitHub, create an account on live.withcode.uk, submit your code and win the prizes. Thanks, all the very best, look after yourselves, and I look forward to seeing what you send in. Thank you, bye-bye.